All right, hi everybody. It is September 15th. Yeah, middle of the way through September. I got a bunch of downloads again last night, and yeah, how to explain it is, well, actually, last night was kind of more interesting than usual. They gave me some really interesting visuals too, as well. Uh, some pretty cool stuff. Uh, but I always find it that the problem I'm having is not only to describe, or even though I wrote 3 pages of notes on it, it's I call it uh, spoiler alert information. In other words, they're telling me kind of complicated stuff. To me, it simplifies it in some ways because they're explaining how everything works. But I think the problem I have is trying to like I feel obligated, like I'm supposed to tell people this stuff, but it's almost like it's too much information. Well, it's even too much. Well, it's not too much information. You can process it, but you really gotta have an open mind and think of this the situation and the world differently. It's as if we've been taught wrong science, wrong everything. So if I told you the reality of how science works or anything, it's just too complicated. It's like telling somebody, if you got car troubles or something, all you really want to know is if you're going to talk to your mechanic, is just all I just want to know is, where do I put the gas in there, and does it need oil? But I don't want to know how an engine works, or I don't want to know how the transmission works. I don't need to sit through these long courses of explaining how the automatic transmission works and stuff like that. Because what it is we're caught up in our own problems in our own world, and all we're basically asking for is for someone to tell them how to fix their car quick and cheap, so they can get back on the road again. That's the position I think everybody's in on planet Earth. It's like we're looking for a quick fix. We don't want to know the mechanics behind everything. We just basically want help, as in, like, so what's going to happen next week, and we want the really easy to digest problem solving information. And, like, unfortunately for me, it's they're not giving me that information. Well, sort of, to a certain extent they are, but, and by the way, when I say they, finally, this is like about 3 or 4 days ago, they finally told me uh, that that kind of what I'm doing here and who I'm listening to. It's more like they said it's. I've always known as several. I'm getting information from several people or whatever, and they said it's a council of 5. Now I don't know what that means. I'm still learning, but they're. I guess they're my guides. like, you know, yeah, I don't know what more to say about that. And they called me a way shower. Now I don't know what that means. This is a new term for me, but it's basically we're here to help show the way. Now here's the thing is um, they told me I'm kind of like a third wave person. I came in early to just try to wrap my head around, but basically know what went wrong and everything here, and and ways of fixing it. So and that's why I told you guys earlier, I was kind of told that I was an observer and I'm supposed to watch, and I'm making uh, basically observations that are being recorded. I guess I don't know whether it's being recorded or not. I don't know, probably. But I'm just saying I'm meant to watch to see what's going on and how to fix it. So that's why I'm sent in really early to be a part of all this. So, but I'm not necessarily being a big part of this great awakening. I'm here to assist for sure for that. But they said for me, I'm a third waver, which means someone that comes in and goes, okay, this is the problems, and I suggest, I guess, and not me, but I guess through me, suggest how to fix these problems. So in other words, and it makes you kind of wonder too. Okay, once we do this jailbreak, once we break down this controlling paradigm that we're in, what do we do? So that's kind of what they were saying to me. It's like, well, they need someone, not me. I mean, there's hundreds of thousands of us here to assist with this, but basically to show ways of fixing this problem, and that was, or the way it should be. Which I got to admit, ever since I was a child, like I told you guys before, I look at the world like, wow, this is not right. The world shouldn't be run like this. It really shouldn't be. We shouldn't be holding back good ideas, which they do. Things like that. It's like, whatever. But I don't want to go on to that too much. But as far as giving you an update as far as what they're telling me, man, it's really, really interesting. And I'm not sure, maybe I should put it in a book form or something. I don't know, because I just can't tell you about it in 10 minutes. It's just too much information. But the basic gist, again, is we are the ones making this world. We just don't realizing it. They kind of explained it as in, like, almost as if we're living in a digital pixel photograph, but let's say a movie. So atoms are more like pixels. So we can change things because it's nothing's really solid in that way. We can manifest them, which we are all the time. We're constantly. Okay, I'll give you a real quick example of what I'm talking about. Is they basically told me that it has to do with we're manifesting everything through our minds. We don't realize how powerful we really are. So if a bunch of us are told that, basically in a sense, yeah, through our minds type of thing, if we're all taught that this is what wood is like, this is what stone is like, this is what a steel is like, it's like a consensus thing. So we're all taught these things. So we don't, and especially if you don't question them, if you're just raised that way, if that's the way things always are, then we keep that world going. We set up our own we're making our own reality is what it boils down to. That's me trying to simplify it. And take, for instance, that's why our controllers know that. So they basically they keep us in fear, and that's how they control us. So it's like whatever they tell us, we manifest. So in other words, if they say, oh, there's going to be lots of riots, or we're going to have a lack of gas, a lack of food, whatever, we make that happen. So we have to really, really be careful of what we accept as true. Like, take, for instance, being sick. This is something that they wrote down to me. But it says, all sickness and disease are created by negative frequencies. Like I said, these are all basically it's like atoms, which are, electrons and protons, things like that. You've got to consider them like pixels. They're there to be created into whatever we want to make them into. But if we create a negative frequency from that, or something from it, that's what it turns into. So we have to be careful of that. So all sickness and disease is created by the negative frequencies. So a positive thoughts create an alkaline world, if you understand it. So, and if anybody understands that about, for instance, the human body in particular, if you keep your body high alkaline, you can't get disease. It's physically impossible in this world, according to atomic structure of this world. Like I said, it's almost like the ether that we create things out of. But negative thoughts create an acidic world, and that leaves yourselves open for disease, like cancers and stuff. So literally, we can tell our bodies not to ever get sick, in a sense, through positive thoughts. And or alkaline foods. I'm also taught about that too, as in like keep. In other words, once you understand the system that we're in, this matrix that we're in, and this is just a part of what they've been telling me, you can control your world. But because this world is a combined consciousness world, we all make those decisions. So we're still waiting for the aha moment when everybody wakes up and goes, "Oh, I get it. We're being played. We're being, that's kind of almost what we're waiting for." But because of that, I know human nature all too well, because I'm one, is we don't act on anything unless something's wrong. We don't fix something unless it's broken. That's just the way we are. We're also very forgiving beings. We're very forgiving creatures. So if we don't see someone, in other words, if we don't see something being broken or something being done wrong, we just let things slide. And it's also to a certain degree. I'll use another example of that is, like, take for instance, if you know your boss is skimming off the top or something, he's taking, $5 off of everybody's paycheck. You go, nah, okay, well, he's just a dickhead or whatever, and you get by it. And we're very forgiving. Now, however, if you realized, if this company's got 1,000 employees, and your boss is taking $200 off your paycheck for everybody, well, guess what? That's where we draw the line. Or everybody has different places that they draw the line, but that's when we'll rise up and go, okay, that does it. I'm quitting tomorrow or whatever. It takes humans a lot to react to something. It's in our nature to be very forgiving and very, I'll let it pass. We're passive creatures, unless we're provoked. So that's why this is difficult. It had to be shown to us how bad the system really was in order for us to break free of it. Because now we realize, wait a minute, that's way out of control. They're killing us. If that's what it takes, you realize somebody's killing you with poison water or whatever. Then finally we'll wake up and we're ready for a change. So that's kind of the stage we're at right now. So I don't want to go too much into the mechanics of how everything works, but you could take this to the bank pretty much. I keep saying it. We have to stay positive. Now, at the same time, I'm like anybody else. It's not as if I'm complacent, because I'm not like that as much. But I'm just saying, I'm willing to sort of let things change themselves and sort of stand back and go, okay, I'll back that person, or I'll like this person. And it's like, hey, good point, whatever, and not get involved. But again, everybody has got a line in the sand that is like, okay, this has gone too far, and now I'm going to act on it. So for me, I've been prodded in other ways. I get information and say, you really should say something. So maybe you guys would do the same thing. If you had a voice in your head said, listen, you should tell your friends about, how bad things are, or how good things can be, or whatever. So, maybe I'm not unusual that way, but anyway, okay, I'm rambling. Okay, so as far as my topic for Tuesday is, again, we have to try to help everybody kind of wake up and break out of this prison. Because really, we're being played. This is a prison. We're going to break out of it. And that's why I've been so enthusiastic from the beginning, because I've been told how good things are going to be when this is all over. And I still know that in my heart, in every inch of my matrix body, every atom. I know that things are going to turn into a lot better system. But again, it's getting kind of crazy, and people are going to have a hard time wrapping their head around it. But it's coming after all this, I'm telling you right now. So that's about it for Tuesday, I guess. And I'll make another video on Thursday. And stay positive, even though we have to go through this negative time. So that's okay. I guess my message for now. Okay. Talk to you guys later. Bye.